Taurus, picture the scene. You're sitting at the table with your family, everyone talking about future plans, expectations, the path you should follow. And you smile, nod, silently agree, while inside something screams so loud it deafens you. There's a decision growing inside you, a truth so powerful about who you really are and what you truly want that when it finally surfaces, it will make every person at the table question whether they truly know you. It's not anger. It's not teenage rebellion. It's something much deeper and more inevitable. You finally choosing your own life instead of living the life that was designed for you before you even had a voice to say what you wanted. What's coming isn't a passing phase you'll overcome. It's not a crisis that will be resolved by returning to the path you've always followed. It's a transformation so complete in how you choose to exist in the world that it will leave your family in shock. Because they know you as the reliable person, the solid rock, the one who never changes drastically, who maintains traditions, who does what's expected. But what they don't know is that beneath this facade of stability, you've been stifling dreams that don't fit the family narrative. You've been swallowing truths about yourself that don't fit the box they've placed you in. And now, something inside you has decided it's over. That you'll no longer sacrifice who you truly are to maintain family peace, to preserve the image they've built of you, to remain the safe, predictable version everyone expects. The shock your family will feel isn't about you destroying something. It's about you finally building something real on the false foundations you've accepted for so long. Maybe it's a radical career change, abandoning the profession you were chosen for, or the one that was always the right path in your family. Maybe it's about a relationship you'll choose, even though you know your family disapproved. Maybe it's about leaving the city, the country, the entire life you've built, just because it was expected of you. Maybe it's about embracing a part of your identity that you've always hidden for fear of disappointing or not being accepted. Or maybe it's simply about finally saying no, such a small word, but one that you never had the courage to use when your family set expectations that suffocated your soul. You've felt it, haven't you? That moment when you realize you're living someone else's life. When you look in the mirror and don't fully recognize who's looking back because you've spent so much time molding yourself to other people's expectations that you've lost touch with your true essence. And the worst part, you've done it so well that even your family believes the version they know is the real one. They have no idea of the silent volcano that exists within you. For Tauruses born between April 20th and April 30th, what's coming is connected to a professional or financial decision that goes against everything your family values. You'll choose emotional security over financial security, passion over prestige, authenticity over approval. For those born between May 1st and 10th, the shock will involve your relationships, choosing a partner your family never imagined, or choosing not to have a partner when everyone expected you to follow the traditional script. For those born between May 11th and 20th, the transformation will be about breaking generational cycles, about refusing to repeat family patterns that have caused pain, about choosing to heal rather than perpetuate. The hardest thing for you, Taurus, isn't the change itself. It's the guilt. It's knowing that when you finally do what you need to do, you'll disappoint the people you love. You'll see pain and confusion on their faces. You'll hear phrases like, "You've changed. I don't recognize you anymore. What happened to you?" And the temptation to backtrack, to give up your truth to restore family harmony will be immense, because you value loyalty above almost everything else, because you hate conflict, because the idea of being seen as selfish or ungrateful eats away at you. But here's what you need to understand. The loyalty that demands you sacrifice who you are isn't loyalty. It's control disguised as love. The harmony that demands you silence your own voice isn't harmony. It's submission dressed as peace. And the gratitude they expect from you in return for stifling your dreams to meet their expectations isn't gratitude. It's a debt that should never have been collected. Your family loves you. I don't doubt that. But often, the people who love us also limit us, not out of malice, but because they're afraid. Afraid that you'll get hurt by making different choices than they would. Afraid of losing control over your life. Afraid that your success or happiness on a different path will prove them wrong about the choices they made for their own lives. So they try to keep you small, safe, predictable, not because they want to hurt you, but because your expansion scares them, and you've carried their fear as if it were your own. You've allowed their anxieties about your future to become your own. You've lived within boundaries you didn't choose, following a map you didn't draw, pursuing destinations you don't desire, all to avoid the shock you know you will experience when you finally claim your life as your own. But Taurus, this shock is inevitable. You can postpone it, you can try to soften it, you can spend more years trying to be someone you're not, to preserve the illusion of harmony. But at some point, the truth of who you are will explode through the layers of conformity you've built, and the longer you wait, the more violent the explosion will be, the deeper the shock, because you will have accumulated years of unspoken truths, unfulfilled desires, versions of yourself that were never allowed to exist. The universe is preparing you now to make this conscious choice, to take control of the narrative instead of letting it control you, to choose to deliver an honest shock now instead of living a comfortable lie that will eventually destroy you from within. And yes, it will be hard. There will be tears, arguments, heavy silences, uncomfortable dinners. Your family will need time to process, to understand, to accept that the person they thought they knew was always there, but suffocated under layers of expectations you never should have carried. Taurus, you're remembering all the times you swallowed your own desires to keep the peace, all the moments where you pretended to agree when every cell in your body screamed disagreement, all the conversations where you smiled and nodded while inside you fell apart a little more. And maybe this is the first time someone is giving you permission to be selfish in the best sense of the word, to finally choose you, your truth, your real life over the life they planned for you. To understand that causing temporary shock to your family is better than causing permanent damage to your own soul. You're not alone in this struggle between family loyalty and personal authenticity. So many Tauruses are going through the exact same conflict right now, carrying the same weight in silence, feeling the same guilt just thinking about doing what they truly want. I need you to do something right now. Leave a comment saying, "I choose my truth, even if it shocks the ones I love." These words aren't just a comment, they're a statement. They're you acknowledging that it's time to stop living by other people's expectations. And when you write this, you're creating a wave of courage that will reach other Tauruses who desperately need to hear that they're not the only ones feeling this way. Your honesty could be the push someone needs today to start living their own truth. What your family doesn't yet understand is that the version of you they're about to meet is more real than the one they've always known. That once the initial shock wears off, if they truly love you, they'll realize you're more alive, more present, more genuinely happy than you ever were when you were trying to fit the mold they created for you. They'll see a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. They'll notice a lightness in your energy that was absent when you carried the weight of living a life that wasn't yours. But before you reach this point of acceptance and understanding, there will be resistance. Your family will try various strategies to make you revert to your old self. They'll use guilt. After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us. They'll use fear. You'll regret this. You're making a huge mistake. They'll use emotional manipulation. You're worrying your mother to death. You're destroying this family. They'll even use love. It's because we love you that we're trying to protect you from yourself. None of these tactics are about you. They're about their discomfort with change. They're about their fear of losing control. They're about their beliefs being challenged by your courage to live differently. And you'll need an inner strength you may not know you have to stand firm in your truth while the people you love try to pull you back into the comfortable box they kept you in. Tauruses possess a quiet strength that many underestimate. When you finally make up your mind, when your determination solidifies, you become unshakable. And that's exactly the strength you'll need to access now. Not to fight with your family, not to prove anything, but simply to stay true to what you know to be true about yourself, regardless of external pressure. The shock your family will feel will be layered. First, there will be the shock of the revelation itself, the decision you made, the truth you revealed, the path you chose. Then will come the shock of realizing you're serious, that it's not a phase, that they won't be able to convince you to change your mind. And finally, the most profound shock, realizing they never really knew you as they thought they did, that there was an entire universe within you that remained hidden because you never felt safe revealing it. This final shock may be the hardest for them to process. It will make them question everything, their relationship with you, the conversations they've had, the moments they've shared. They'll wonder how they missed it. They'll try to spot signs they missed. And you'll likely feel guilty for hiding so much, for not being honest sooner, for allowing them to believe in a version of you that wasn't complete. But Taurus, you hid because it wasn't safe to reveal. You held back your truth because you learned early on that expressing it would cause conflict, disappointment, and rejection. You became an expert at being what they needed you to be because that's how you learned to receive love and acceptance. It wasn't cowardice, it was survival. And now you're finally strong enough, mature enough, tired enough of living half-heartedly to choose the vulnerability of authenticity over the false security of conformity. What's coming will completely redefine your family relationships. Some family members may temporarily withdraw, needing space to process. Others may permanently withdraw, unable to accept the real you when it doesn't match their fantasy. And some, perhaps those you least expect, will surprise you with their support, understanding, and even admiration for your courage. And here's something you need to be prepared to discover. When you finally reveal your truth, you may inspire others in your family to do the same. Your courage may be the permission someone has been waiting for to live more authentically. Your choice to be real can create a domino effect of honesty that transforms the entire family dynamic for the better. The initial shock can eventually turn into collective liberation. But even if that doesn't happen, even if your choice is misunderstood or rejected by everyone, you will still have done the right thing. Because living a lie to make others feel comfortable is a fundamental betrayal of yourself. It's a kind of living death where you're technically alive, but not truly living. And Taurus, you weren't born to just exist, take up space, follow scripts others wrote. You were born to create, to build, to manifest beauty and reality, but you can only do so from truth, not from lies. What's coming isn't just about a specific decision or a particular revelation. It's about you reclaiming your authority over your own life. It's about establishing a new standard for how you will relate to your family from now on, one based on honesty rather than conformity, on mutual respect rather than automatic obedience, on love that accepts differences rather than a love that demands uniformity. Your family will need to learn a lesson many families resist, that loving someone doesn't mean controlling their choices, that supporting someone doesn't mean agreeing with every decision they make, that respecting someone means honoring their autonomy even when you would make different choices. And teaching these lessons will be uncomfortable, will cause friction, will generate conflicts you've always avoided. But it's necessary so that you can eventually reach a more mature and true relationship. In the first days and weeks after your revelation, you'll question your decision 1,000 times. You'll wonder if it was worth it. You'll feel the weight of silence when calls stop coming. You'll feel the pain of dinners where your absence is felt or where you're present, but there's a tension in the air that cuts like a knife. There will be moments when you want to call, apologize, say you were wrong, revert to the old you just to end the discomfort. Don't do this. The discomfort is temporary. The regret of betraying yourself again would be permanent. What you're doing requires you to trust that on the other side of this turmoil lies something better. not necessarily easier, but more real. A version of family relationships that can finally be built on who you really are, not who they pretended you were. And eventually, when the dust settles, when emotions have calmed, when everyone has time to process, one of two things will happen. Either your family will find a way to accept and love you for who you truly are, building a deeper, more genuine connection than they've ever known, or they will choose to continue rejecting the real you, in which case you'll have the painful but liberating clarity of knowing that their love was always conditional, always contingent on you being who they wanted you to be, rather than who you are. Both outcomes are better than continuing to live the lie. One gives you genuine relationships, the other gives you truth and freedom, and both give you something you didn't have before: integrity. The feeling of being whole, of all the parts of you finally aligning, of no longer having this division between who you are and who you pretend to be. Taurus. The coming shock isn't the end of your family. It's potentially the beginning of something more real. It's the death of false harmonies and the birth of authentic connections. It's painful, yes, but it's the kind of pain that heals, that cleanses, that prepares the ground for something new to grow. It's different from the chronic pain of living a life that isn't yours, which only worsens over time, which slowly erodes your soul until nothing real remains. You're about to discover who in your family truly loves you versus who only loved the controllable version of you. You'll learn that some people only know how to love within their terms, their expectations, their needs. And you'll discover that some people are capable of a greater, more expansive love that embraces you exactly as you are. The shock is inevitable. The choice you need to make has already been made deep within your soul. Now it's just a matter of having the courage to externalize what you've already decided internally, to stop postponing the inevitable, to finally trust that you deserve to live your truth, even if the cost is the temporary discomfort of the people you love. When it finally happens, when you reveal what you need to reveal or do what you need to do, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time: relief. Even in the midst of chaos, difficult reactions, and complicated conversations, you'll feel a profound relief in no longer carrying the weight of a false life, in no longer having to remember which version of you is supposed to appear in which situation, in finally being able to relax in your own skin because there's nothing left to hide. And in the months and years to come, you'll look back on this moment as the turning point in your life, as the moment you chose courage over comfort, where you chose truth over approval, where you chose yourself over the version of you they created. And you'll realize that the shock you caused your family was less important than the transformation you wrought within yourself. Your family will eventually recover from the shock. They may not like your choices, they may not fully understand, they may still disagree, but they will adjust to the new reality. What you can't recover from is a life wasted living for others. Years you'll never get back, experiences you'll never have, versions of yourself that never had a chance to exist because you were too busy being who they wanted. Taurus, the shock is just the beginning. On the other side awaits a life that's truly yours. An existence where you can finally breathe deeply without feeling the pressure of expectations that don't fit who you are. Relationships that may be difficult but are honest. A family that may be imperfect, but at least is no longer based on comfortable lies. What's to come will shock your family, but it will set you free. And in the end, that's the only thing that truly matters. Share in the comments. No need to reveal details, just acknowledge that you're ready to finally live your truth, no matter the cost. Subscribe to the channel, because the path ahead will require continued courage, constant reminders of your worth, and support when you question whether you made the right choice. Turn on notifications so you don't miss content that will strengthen you when family pressure seems overwhelming, when guilt tries to drag you back, when you need to hear again that choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's spiritual survival.